Caitlin was born, there was no Down Syndrome Society, and so I think the hospital found a nurse that had a child with Down syndrome, and she came to visit and brought me a book. And of course, I don't remember anything that she said really, but I do know that she didn't give me her name or any contact information, so that
that was helpful.
If I wanted, to reach out to somebody, I didn't know who to reach out to. I just wanted to talk to parents that were going through the same thing, and so that began the journey of trying to figure out how I could connect with parents. And it took probably a year and a half or two before we were able to connect with another mom and finally get a parent support group started.
Like when they're little, that parent connection is probably the most important thing. Just knowing that you're not the only person there going through this all by yourself, that there's somebody else you can talk to. And then in the elementary and middle school time period, then the speakers that we would have come in were important to kind of learn about, this is what's coming up, or this is what you should focus on, or here's something you can do at your IEP, or here's your focus if you want your kid included, or any of those kind of things. And then you hit that high school group, and then things get really scary, and you want to know, oh my gosh, what's going to happen to my kid when she graduates, because that's a huge, huge piece. And there's not that school support anymore. And then, of course, my thought is I need her connected because she's social and she needs to be with people, but all her friends have moved on, and so we needed a connection for her also to have other kids to connect with, or other adults, actually. She's an adult.
I think it's important that we have an organization that is focused on Down syndrome, because Down syndrome is the largest chromosomal disorder. I'm involved with the organization because looking back through my life, I realized that it's been able to help me through all the different stages of Caitlin's life. And if I could go back and tell myself, a younger self, I would probably have been even more involved, because I wasn't aware of all the things that I was going to face in the future. And now that I do know, it's good to be able to look ahead and talk to people who have been through what you're getting ready to go through. So one of the things in looking to the future for our organization is we want to recognize our value of inclusion, but also recognize the fact that as our kids are getting older, inclusion is becoming much more difficult. And so that's some of the programming that we're looking at expanding into is to provide access for our young adults to continue to have relationships in their communities, as well as having their specific needs addressed within the programs that are more specific to Down syndrome.
So you've heard us talk about Dreaming Forward, and Dreaming Forward is looking to the future. What do we want for this organization? Where do we want to go with this organization? Our total goal is that we want a bigger building that we can provide more services and more programs without being crammed into a little itty bitty space, and more staff to help support all those programs. But we can't do that unless we have the support of parents, unless we have the support of the community, and that we get the funding that's required. And we can't do that without you.
And that's why we're sending out this survey. This is a good way for you to get started and helping, so you can give us input and know where we need to focus our efforts in the future.
Our fiscal year starts June 1st, so make sure and get your voice heard. And that means fill out that survey, and it'll only take 5 to 6 minutes of your life, and it will be well worth your time.